Chinese authorities have confirmed that the outbreak of a deadly new virus could be spread through human contact. Hundreds have contracted the virus over the last few days. Medical staff have been infected and several people have died. A chilling update on the coronavirus, which began in Wuhan, a city of 11 million people. The majority of infections have been detected in China, but the virus has already spread to other countries, including Thailand, Japan, South Korea and the Philippines, as millions travel for the Lunar New Year holiday. Scientists in Hong Kong have warned of the super spreader disease, and authorities are adamant the virus will be brought under control. The health scare has brought back bad memories of SARS, another coronavirus that broke out in China in the early 2000s, which killed nearly 800 in a global pandemic. Health authorities across the globe have stepped up their screening of travellers arriving from China, and some Chinese pharmacies have even run out of face masks, as people stock up ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday. The origin of the virus is yet to be identified, but the World Health Organization suspects the primary source to be animal. Chinese officials have said they've linked the outbreak to a seafood market in Wuhan. The virus can cause pneumonia, and symptoms include fever and difficulty in breathing. The outbreak has also sent shivers through financial markets. The WHO called a meeting for Wednesday to consider declaring an international health emergency.
Wow. Oh, there you have it. They will declare an international emergency because it's in the United States now.
Yeah, and as usual, it seems like they hold the ball until a couple hundred people have it, and then they release the information. Which is like, come on, man, you got to suit up and get in the game. This is like a global pandemic now.
It is. It is spreading. It's in several countries. China, that's where it started. Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Australia. Now United States, Seattle.
Yes, Seattle, Washington. I mean, it doesn't take long. In today's day and age where you could be on a flight and 4 hours later be in another continent.
Right.
I mean, this is serious stuff. But
they're saying well, news reports are saying very few are infected, about 300 or so, but we're getting reports of over thousands of people being affected.
Right. And if it's antibiotic resistant, I mean, we're coming from a nation of people who, like, the doctor gives you a Z-Pack and you go home. I mean, you're just hoping you don't spread it to your family if you do have it.
Yes, we'd be in trouble. And I think we will. I mean, hopefully they'll have something for it, but it looks like that this could be mutated into something else. Even worse virus.
Not looking forward. I thought regular flu season was going to suck. Now this is a whole nother level.
Right. That's definitely. And then they are quarantining 11 million people in Wuhan. And take a look at this video. They're spraying the streets. Watch this.
Yeah, they're spraying it with like smoke
Yeah. It is crazy. There's no one in sight. You see anybody in sight?
I don't see anybody walking their dog or anything. So it's pretty serious. But as usual, China waits till it's really serious to tell anyone.
Yes, it's not. It's not looking good at all.
No.
So they are going to call a meeting. World Health Organization declare an international threat level. I guess there's certain levels they'll issue, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll be able to contain it, and we won't get sick and die.
Yeah, because there's no vaccination for it. It's not the flu. Right. So everybody who got their flu shot, you're not safe either.
Right, exactly. So it's not looking good. So we're going to have some more reports on this virus as it unfolds. We might even have it later on. We're checking the news as it folds up, because it looks like I mean, there's things ticking, going off all over the place about this virus.
The last Twitter feed I saw was London. So I mean, if it's in London too, it's everywhere.
Yes, Europe, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so now we got the virus, but then we have the virus of the impeachment.
The Democrat virus.
Exactly. How can we stamp out the Democrat virus?
It's apparently you just have to let them tantrum out. And I'm loving the team that Trump pulled, man. I'm really loving his defense team. I'm loving the guys that he pulled from the House. I'm glad that Jordan's on the team. That's
yeah.
really like that. That's a big plus for me. And I'm actually, the Democrats are using their same old pitching staff. So everybody knows the curveball that they've been throwing, and everybody knows the changeup. So I'm pretty sure we're going to hit these balls out of the park.
Right. I mean, in a lot of those opening statements, like today that happened, the opening statements are so boring.
It's the same thing rehashed over and over again.
Right.
It really is.
I mean, who wants to listen to that all day long?
Well, apparently we have to now. So now we have 12 hours of Democrat statements to listen to.
So here we go. We have 12 hours. We're about to play. I'm only kidding, audience. We're not playing.
Oh my God! Please no. Yeah.
It's only supposed to be a 30-minute show.
Yeah, for real. So 12 hours of the Democrats. We could probably sum it up into about 30 seconds of viable.
Or less.
Yeah.
Right. Now we do have a video. It's not very long. It's a video of the White House counsel. He actually made some great points. We would like to show it. So let's see what he says.
A partisan impeachment is like stealing an election. And that's exactly what we have. We have, talk about the framers' worst nightmare. It's a partisan impeachment that they've delivered to your doorstep in an election year. Some of you are upset because you should be in Iowa right now. But instead we're here, and they're not ready to go. And it's outrageous. It's outrageous. And the American people won't stand for it, I'll tell you that right now. They're not here to steal one election, they're here to steal 2 elections. It's buried in the small print of their ridiculous articles of impeachment. They want to remove the President Trump from the ballot. They won't tell you that. They don't have the guts to say it directly, but that's exactly what they're here to do. They're asking the Senate to attack one of the most sacred rights we have as Americans, the right to choose our president.
There you have it. So
you know what? I like Cipollone because let me tell you something about him. He's a big civil case type lawyer who's used to actual litigation in big courts. Where guys like Adam Schiff, if he was out in the real world, he'd be a slip and fall ambulance chaser. Okay, so like he's not even in the league of these guys. He doesn't realize it yet, but he's not. So these guys are used to real deal every day. You got to have evidence. You got to bring your A game to the table. And Adam Schiff and Nadler are not ready for these guys. I'm telling you.
No, they don't have the gumption.
They do not have the ammo either. No. They're done. This is going to be a quick over and done. You know, I want to say it's going to be a civil case, but this is a political thing. So this is a political beating they're about to take.
Yeah, I hope it's over in 2 weeks.
Me too.
Yeah. So on his team, I know you've been redoing some research. So he has Jim Jordan. Who else does he have from the House?
Oh my God, he's got what's his name from? He's got Dershowitz.
Right.
I mean, if you want to talk about the House, he's got Dershowitz was on the Clinton. He's got Starr, who was also on the Clinton impeachment. I mean,
a lot of big heavy hitters, Jim Jordan, House, and all this stuff. So he's got a lot of people that's in his corner.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that the people that have been through the impeachment process before, they remember the rules. And one of the things that you notice, I mean, there was one, I wish we could have got it up quicker, but there's a Chuck Schumer video, and I know our listeners, our watchers can find it, where he's talking about in the Clinton impeachment, he says, we don't need any more witnesses. The House had their chance, and now it's time for the Senate to rule. Right? So now it's 2019, 2020. He's a flip script of that thing. Now he's saying, oh, how could you not have every witness you wanted? I mean, he's the total opposite.
Right.
He is such a hypocrite. It blows my mind what Chuck Schumer can actually spit out of his mouth. I think it actually burns his lips when it comes out.
That probably does. I mean, what about What about Nancy Pelosi? What about when she talks?
Oh my God. I think she reads from a script because there's no way she could remember that stuff that she says.
Right.
And I think she has a reading issue too. I mean, not the fact that she's half, in the bag when she talks, but I mean, wow, the stuff that she has said so far, it would take you probably 30 days to get like a viable sentence of something that a normal person would understand. I mean, she's a waste.
Yeah, I mean, she is worse than I don't know. I'm not going to go there, but we're going to have a clip of her, so we're going to go there and.
Oh, I love clips of her.
Yeah,
she's
let's see what she says. Here we go.
This is a very serious matter, and we take it to heart in a really solemn way.
Thank you so much for waiting till we got back on the air before you started the impeachment. That deserves a fist bump.
Speaker Pelosi has been clear that we are going to proceed in a very serious and solemn and sober fashion.
It was unusual to see that kind of ceremony and making, handing out the pens and smiling for a picture in this kind of situation.
I was at that ceremony and there was no joy.
And as we can see from these pictures here, all the participants look pretty happy.
The task before us is a solemn one.
It's prayerful, it's somber, it's sad.
I say impeachment, impeachment, impeachment.
This is very prayerful.
Today is a solemn and sad day.
I am on my way to the United States House floor to impeach President Trump.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Seriously, what BS? You can't even be a Democrat and not admit that they are full of shite at this point.
And can you believe they even mentioned sober? I mean, geez.
No.
Nancy Pelosi, you can't say that in one word with her there.
It's crazy. It's wow. It's blown my mind. And I honestly am chomping at the bit because I can't wait for this to actually happen because I think they're in for a rude awakening when they actually hit the floor and this becomes like the end game of this impeachment. I can't wait.
Right. Well, it's going to come to a close pretty quick. It's not going to go very much longer.
They have nothing.
All right. So anyway, so we have the impeachment. So really not much to talk about there. It's going to be over soon. So we have a Project Veritas video.
Oh yeah, let's get in the Bernie bros.
Yeah. So the Bernie Sanders, he's a field organizer. We had one on last week. Was talking about how they're going to put everybody in gulags. There's another one.
He wanted to burn Cleveland down, or he wanted to
every
burn
city
Milwaukee
down. Right. They're going to start with Milwaukee with the DNC convention, and then go on.
Burn everywhere else.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, anyway, so we have a video showing the Bernie organizer wants to put us in gulags.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to see that too.
Okay, let's show
I love these guys.
Would like to see, maybe this is a little bit sadistic of me, call it what you want, but I would like to see the billionaires kind of go into an American gulag, so to speak. I say that all the time. Break rocks,
but build something concrete. So let's force them to build roads, rebuild our roads, rebuild our dams, rebuild our bridges. Let's force them to do that.
There they are. They want to make all the Trump supporters build roads and make dams, put them in gulags.
I want to say one thing real quick. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but they don't realize that there are Democrat billionaires too that are looking at these guys like, shh, no, stop.
Yeah. Well, I think there's more Democratic billionaires than there are Republican.
Yeah, the billionaires are not. They're trying to make becoming a billionaire is evil. And I remember when Bernie Sanders talked about millionaires, and then he became one. Right. Okay, and then Bernie became a millionaire, and then he switched to billionaires that were evil.
Well, you have to. If you're a millionaire, you can't have millionaires evil. You got to have billionaires evil.
It's a sliding scale. Like you can't keep it like on any certain point because all these Democrats are getting filthy rich too. So for them to be like, oh yeah, millionaires are bad, and then they're like, oh shit, we're all millionaires. Oh man. But anyway, he's got these Bernie bros believe in his story, hook, line, and sinker, and there's really no saving those guys. I'm going to be really sad when the DNC snakes Bernie again and says we're not going socialist. Here you go, Joe Biden. Here's the nomination. Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know if Bloomberg will get it, but one of those guys is going to get it, and Bernie is not. And those guys are going to be crying in the streets. It's going to be awful.
Yeah. This is breaking news, by the way. Witness swap. This is highlighted on the Drudge. Biden for Bolton. So they wanted to put Biden up on the witness stand and Bolton as well. So they're giving us Biden. We didn't want us to give them Bolton.
Yeah. I mean, I assumed that was going to be the case, that it was going to be like, how bad do you want Bolton? Because if they get Bolton, then we want Biden. And guess what? Man, I seriously doubt that Bolton's got anything even close to what Biden's going to have to. See, they want to put Biden under oath, honestly. They want to make him swear him in and make him talk.
Right.
Honestly, it's a perjury trap. And I know it is, and you know it is too. With Bolton, he has insider information because he was part of the executive branch. Now, the stuff that he could talk about is honestly stuff that Trump already put out there. Trump already released a transcript. Trump has already released the notes that he had before the meeting. So whatever Bolton may or may not have to say is not going to be anywhere near the lies and the perjury that Biden's going to be trapped in. Right. I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know what Bolton would have on Trump.
I can't imagine. I mean, honestly, and if he flipped, if they somehow put pressure on him and they say, "Oh, you got to give us some dirt or whatever," like this guy Lev Parnas. So Lev Parnas, from what I understand, was an interpreter for Rudy Giuliani, and they found out that he has investments all over the place, like a lot of rich guys. And it's really difficult to be rich and not have investments in other countries, other places that may or may not be questionable. And when they need a reason to indict you, they find it. Just like they did with Trump's lawyer, who got indicted on taxi cab medallion violations, and then they were like, "Oh man, your lawyer got indicted. That makes you evil." And it's just this twisty spin type of thing. And if they get Parnas and he wants to sing and he wants to make stuff up to save his hide, it's still not going to hold up because there's 5 other people that were involved that probably have the real deal. That's what Giuliani said. He said, don't worry about Parnas because there's 4 other guys that were involved in the same thing that could back up my story. So let Parnas sing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so that's breaking news. And then they got the virus news. They said there's probably more in the United States. Beijing, like we talked about, issued quarantine of that city. So the 11 million people. Think about it. I mean, how many people is in Philadelphia? You're in Philadelphia. How many people in Philadelphia?
It could spread in Philadelphia in a matter of days because apparently it spreads via handshake.
Yeah.
Or because people cough into their hand. Around.
Well, how many people? How many people's in Philadelphia?
6 million, 6.5.
Think about it. In China, they're quarantined the whole city to stay inside. 11 million people.
Yeah, that's serious, man.
Yeah,
that's a serious number.
And it's confirmed antibiotics do not work on the virus.
Nope, antibiotics are not helping. It's similar to SARS and MARS.
Yeah. Right.
So
and
SARS, South Asian respiratory, and MARS, I think, was Middle Eastern or something like that. So, it's right on point with all these other pandemic type viruses.
Right, and it looks like it's going to. They're bringing more people into major airports in the United States to check them as they come in.
They even have these.
Yeah, I lost you there. Your volume's gone. Yeah, no volume.
They check your face and see if your temperatures are elevated.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether you have it or not. So when you walk into a building in these high-level buildings where they really worry about the people, see, in China, it's weird. They don't worry about it being spread in the hospital. They don't want you coming into one of their government buildings and giving it to one of their government people. Yeah, these high-ranking guys. So they don't care about the hospitals. They're like, yeah, you're sick anyway, but don't come in here. So they have these facial scanners, and then the facial scanners are like, yeah, you got 104 fever, you probably have it.
Right. Yeah, when they're doing that, and now there was only supposed to be San Francisco, L.A., and New York.
Yeah.
So now they're expanding that to other cities for CDC, so they're going to test as people come in from international flights. But now, since it's in the United States, they need to check domestic flights too as well.
Hell yeah, it's so spreadable, person to person, handshakes, doorknobs, all these surfaces they have to worry about. It's not good.
No. So we had a gun rally. Yesterday.
Yes, and no one got shot, no one got killed, no violence. Amazing.
It is. I mean, everybody thought everybody was going to shoot everybody.
Yeah.
It was a peaceful rally.
It was.
And they were singing the Pledge of Allegiance. They were singing all kind of patriotic songs. And they were carrying guns. No one got shot.
And it wasn't what I noticed when I turned on MSNBC and even glanced through CNN, because I'm honest about it. I glanced through their stuff because I want to see what's going on. They tried to paint it as a white nationalist type of a racist gathering. And then I caught their cameras as these people are walking down the thoroughfare, right? They're like so there was two areas. There was an area that was fenced in where you got frisked and metal detected and no guns. You could get close to the powers that be. Now, on the outside of that fence, you could carry an AR-15 30-round mag, fully loaded, 9mm on the hip, no problem. Now, in those thoroughfares, there were people walking around with all kind of arms. Nothing went down, and it was black, white, Latinos. It was everybody. And what I caught red-handed, and I posted it on Twitter, was CNN would see like a black and a Latino guy walking together and pan the camera away really quick so they couldn't show it, because they love showing that it's just a bunch of white guys because it makes it look like, oh, look at these terrible people all gathered in one place. But it was really about the Second Amendment. It wasn't anything to do with race.
Yeah, we have a video of the white nationalists there at the gun rally. So here we go. We're going to play this short video.
Yeah.
Okay, why am I out here? Basically, I'm out here because I got roped into it by the group of guys you see standing to my right. But the real reason I'm out here is I do not support in any way, shape, or form Governor Northam's and the Democrats' gun control. What I also don't support is the fact that every news piece you've seen on this weekend, they've always brought up the issue of race, as though it's nothing but white rednecks and hillbillies out here who care for the Second Amendment, when actually Black Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Americans in general care about the Second Amendment. I work at a gun store part-time, and I can't tell you the number of customers I see of all races, all colors, all creeds, who care about the Second Amendment and who just want to peaceably live their lives, enjoy their rights, and the Second Amendment. So that's why I'm out here. And big media, mainstream media be damned. If you take a good look at me, you can see I'm a Black American, and all I'm out here for is to enjoy my Second Amendment rights. That's why I'm here.
Great. And tell us about, what do you think about the cordoning off that's going on out here of the Capitol area?
You know what? It's great. What we ought to do is everybody just walk up with master locks, put master locks on the gates, and lock that bastard in. That's what. No, to be quite honest,
well said.
Shut up. What I honestly think about it is, it's wrong. This is our capital. We pay for these grounds. This is not some place for the king to hold up in. This is our capital. This is our state. We have the right to petition for redress of our government, of our grievances. And our grievance today is their treatment of us and the Second Amendment. So the fact that he's got to hide behind fences like he's the king in Braveheart, I think is complete and utter garbage.
Very nice. And that video appears courtesy of Breitbart, I just want to mention, and that's under fair use policy. And we just want to comment on it. And wow. I mean, to sum that up would be how would you come at someone like that and say that he was surrounded by racists? You couldn't, because his focus was on his rights, and that was that, and so was everybody else's.
Yeah, mainstream media wants us to look bad
Yeah.
in front of the world, and it's far from the truth.
Yeah, it's not even close to the truth. And I watched them in real time try to not show that there were Black and Latino people at the same area in Virginia, and they were swerving the camera and they were blurring the picture to try to pull it away fast. It was so obvious. It was terrible.
It was terrible. But anyway, he talked very well. He was to the point. I loved the video, so that's why we had him on. So very good. So so as far as the gun rally is concerned, and it's over with. They have this thing every year, right?
No, actually, this was the first time they all gathered, because Northam, when he got the Democratic majority, went in. Northam went in, and he had one guy in the Senate and I think 3 guys in the State House, just enough to pass the not only red flag law, the magazine ban law, the 1 gun a month purchase law, the there was one other one. Oh, the bump stock ban, the 30-round magazine ban. Like, they basically omnibus, like they funded all kinds of law enforcement to basically search and steal and take and get everyone's firearms, and all the local sheriffs were like, we're not enforcing that, man. That's not a good idea. We're a sanctuary county. And it didn't go, it wasn't just 1, it was 60. It was a lot of them.
Wow.
So, and then, like we talked about it on another show, West Virginia actually offered Virginia. They said, look, if you don't want to be a part of that state anymore, you can secede and come to our side. We'll give you the room. You just got to do the formal freeholder vote, and boom, you become part of West Virginia. But now I think
that'd be great.
It would be great, but I think Virginians prove that they're standing strong, that they're willing to stand up to Northam, and Northam is what we call a Nova. He's a Nova politician, which is Northern Virginia, which is close to D.C. They have no concept of what goes on in the rest of the state. They're literally numb from the neck up. They're retards. It's terrible.
Well, on another subject, have you watched the movie The Report on I think it's Netflix or Prime? I forgot which one it was.
The Report you're talking about?
Yeah,
I watched some of it. Sure.
You seen it? Okay.
Yeah, some of it.
Dan Jones.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I got some information about him, what his organization, how he gets his money now from George Soros. It's pretty earth-shattering. We probably should do just a video on Dan Jones.
Yeah, I mean, Soros's tentacles, so to speak, are in everything from low-level education. Like, he's involved in K through 12 education, and that's a scary thought. And then it's everything from anti-gun groups. He funds a lot of like Moms Demand Action and like all of these other groups, and he also funds these what they call Civil Society 2.0, and this is a college campus group. And they pay for the space. They pay for this giant hall for them to make signs and basically just show up and be like anti everything, because they look at society as if it's not civil, and they are the civility of society, and everyone else is wrong and they're okay. Yeah,
that's not good.
No, it's not good. But what it just goes to show you, when you have money, man, can you make momentum?
You can.
You really can.
Yeah, you can change people's lives in a worse way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also have, as far as changing people's lives in a worse way, the FEMA gave Puerto Rico some supplies from last hurricane, and they've been in the warehouse all this time.
Yeah, what do they need them for? I mean, it was baby food, it was diapers, it was water, it was just about everything that like young mothers would need just rotting in a warehouse.
Right. It's not good. So I'm going to show this video of all the supplies in this warehouse as it's sitting there. Let's take a look at it.
Vamos a ver de nuevo para los que no vieron. Pampers. Miren cómo están los pampers ahí, mírenlo. Size 4.
There's diapers, all different sizes.
Miren, comida de bebé.
Baby food.
Ensure.
Yep, baby food,
Todo.
Pedialyte, formula.
Potty. Más
Yeah.
pampers, miren. Todo lo que se
Potty
necesita ahora
training
mismo.
pants.
Ya.
Let's see what
Botella.
else is
Y
there.
el pueblo
Oh,
necesitando.
look,
Y ellos descariando, politiqueando, miren.
Yeah, baby
Miren.
wipes.
The nipples for the bottle.
Nipples for bottles, all
botella,
kind of
esto.
stuff. Wow.
Mira, Huggies.
Just imagine that. Look at
Pampers.
them. Just sitting there.
Pallets and pallets.
Yep.
Sábana. Miren, sábana. Allá abajo hay más cosas. Shops. Mírenlos allá abajo. Más botellas de agua. Estas son botellas
All
vacías
this
para
stuff
almacenar
should
el
have been
líquido.
given to the people.
Yeah.
Wipes, miren.
They didn't even know
Miren,
they
estamos
had it.
necesitando y el gobierno dice, Rivera Chat, dime ahora. Dime ahora.
I mean, this warehouse goes on forever.
Viste que nosotros somos brutos, Rivera Chat. Viste. Mira, guante.
And on the other
Viste,
side,
Rivera
it
Chat,
was
que
like
nosotros somos bien brutos, ¿viste?
MREs,
Somos bien brutos.
medical equipment.
Porque somos un pueblo unido, que podemos más que ustedes. Descarados. Eliezer, dime de esto, bye. Increíble, Que yo sé que tú estás por las luchas también.
Look at that. Cases
Está brutal,
of water.
Increíble.
Pallets of
Sé que si
water.
estuvieras aquí, estuvieras en candela.
I don't
Pero
speak
nada, yo estoy
Spanish,
aquí, mi
this guy's
hermanito.
mad.
He's pissed.
The canned goods.
That's all propane, like for
Miren,
those little
estufa.
Oh,
heaters.
yeah, it's
Mira.
propane, yeah.
Estufa, 5
little
estufas por cada.
stoves.
Miren todas las paletas que
For
hay.
the cook on.
Miren todas las paletas que hay. Y la gente,
I mean, they just
y la
have, like,
gente, sin
thousands
tener
of
donde
earthquakes
cocinar.
there. They should give it
Si la
up.
gente sin tener
Yeah,
donde
man.
cocinar. Y aquí las estufas perdidas, baterías. Las señoritas.
Honestly, they don't want to make Trump look like a normal president, so they want to make look batteries. Wow, pallets of batteries.
Miren,
They don't want to make Trump look
Miren
like
esto.
he's good.
radio.
Like he took care of business.
Miren, de alarma.
Look at that, a crank
Marca
cell
buena.
phone charger.
Tirado ahí.
Pallets
And
of
radio.
yeah,
Caro.
pallets of them.
Mi gente.
Oh my God, come on, man.
There you have it. So all the equipment that the federal government gave them, and just sitting there, the governor of Puerto Rico did not even give it out.
They're so corrupt on that island. I am sorry to say that, but they just are. Every one of them has been indicted at this point for one thing or another.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them got fired recently.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we're going to be monitoring the virus very closely. That's a very critical thing going on right now. And then, of course, the impeachment. But do you have any last words, Bill?
I don't. Any videos we may or may have not used are under the fair use policy for criticism and or comment.
Yes, and we hope you subscribed and
yes,
and
definitely
listen to
like and subscribe. And we will be, or I can't say we. I will be at a Trump rally in 2 weeks, and I will get as much footage as I can. And I really want to interview some people. Just face to face, and I want to get some of that, and I want you guys to all know that you're not alone. If you're with us, you're not alone. There's millions of us.
Yeah, we'll do some live broadcasts there when you're there. So
I hope so. I don't know if they're gonna let me live feed from inside. I have heard various things about security that they're ultra strict once you get inside that building. So I'll let you guys know. I mean,
All right. Yeah, let our producer know, and then we'll see about getting it on there.
Yep, not a problem.
Sounds good. All right, well, thanks for joining us today on the Bill Mason Show. Again, it's January the 21st, 2020, just in case you didn't know that already. And then you have a wonderful day.